Good day and welcome to Charge Talk. I'm Diana Cwick, your host. Charge Talk is all about EVs and the EV industry. Please be sure to hit that like and subscribe button to stay updated on all things in the EV world. Today I'm sitting down with Suncheth Bhat, Chief Commercial Officer at EV Realty, a company that's building the backbone of fleet electrification by developing and operating high-powered truck charging hubs along America's busiest freight corridors. Before EV Realty, Suncheth led clean energy transportation at PG&E, where he oversaw the installation of 240 charging infrastructure projects across 80 cities. He's a Wharton MBA, a formal Bechtel engineer, and has spent his career at the intersection of energy, infrastructure, and transportation. EV Realty just opened up a massive 76-port, 9 megawatt truck charging hub in San Bernardino, and we're going to get into all of it. Suncheth, welcome to Charge Talk.
Good to be here. Thanks for having me, Diana.
So happy to have you. And after that long list of accomplishments and certifications, I mean, it's a little bit daunting. I mean, you're very impressive.
Well, thank you. That's very kind of you.
Um, so you went from Bechtel to leading EV strategy at PG&E, and now you're building fleet charging hubs. What pulled you into this space?
Yeah, to be called an engineer, I'd say is a little bit polite. My role there was solely engineer in title, but not engineer in practice. But I think what really pulled me into this space is a little bit of a broader journey. You know, my parents have the classic immigrant story, having come to the US, in search of a better life. The family's originally from India, and as a kid, we would go to India quite a bit to visit family and stay connected. And I remember those trips as a kid, seeing poverty, pollution, and even taking showers. And during that, like there's sort of black soot coming off, when with the water. And I think just at an early age, that got me thinking about what I wanted to be doing with my life and trying to have a role to be a steward of our environment. Fast forward to the mid 2000s, sort of the beginning of solar and renewables really taking off, certainly in California, and the beginnings of that taking off nationally. And I was working in telecoms at Bechtel at that time, and I really wanted to get into clean energy. And so I went to Pacific Gas and Electric, the Northern and Central California utility. I worked on distributed generation, rooftop solar, utility scale renewables. And there's just a tremendous amount of progress, and there's been a tremendous amount of progress in that space since that time. And, transportation really started to catch my eye as the next area to attack. And certainly in California, 40% of greenhouse gas emissions come from the transportation sector. And so that seemed as the next place to go focus on.
I love it. So you just calculated your moves from one spot to the next.
It certainly seems that way in retrospect.
Yeah. And thank you so much for sharing candidly about your upbringing. That sounds like it was very, very different from maybe a traditional upbringing here in America. So really, really different perspective. Talking about just the dirt and the soot and everything. And
Yeah, definitely very impactful when you see it and you experience it firsthand versus something that you may see images or you read reports about that happen in some other end of the world.
yes, and I think that, you know, it's just interesting to hear what fuels people's passions when you're exposed to things like that, that makes you want to, help and be an impact in that way. So I like that. EV Realty's powered properties model lets multiple fleets charge at one shared hub. What makes this approach better than each fleet doing it by themselves?
Yeah, it's a great question. And that's, really been at the crux of our business model and our approach. And, I worked for about 16 years at Pacific Gas and Electric Company. So I have a deep appreciation for, the utility business and the electric grid. And when you look at the grid across the US, there it is when you add up all of the transmission and distribution lines, it is about 6 million miles of transmission and distribution lines only in the US. And as context, that if you sort of wrap that around the circumference of the Earth, you can do that over 240 times. And that is a complex web that matches instantaneous supply and demand. And that grid was not designed to be the fuel source for transportation. It was built for the world we live in, not necessarily the world we're aspiring to live in. And I think that is key because there is not sort of readily available capacity on the grid for this new type of load when you think about our built environment. And additionally, you can't necessarily think about infrastructure in increments. And so where we are in this market is very much at the beginning where fleets are starting to test a new technology, trying to understand how it incorporates in their operations. And they're not going to make such a brash decision on day one to turn over their entire fleet to a new technology that they're still learning about. And so just sort of behavior in the market right now at this early stage is to try things in pilot stages or to try 5, 10, 20 trucks, not necessarily 200 or 2,000 trucks. And so fleets through our sort of powered properties model can benefit because one, we are finding the locations that have access to power where many times they may not have that power at their warehouse or at their depot. And then additionally, they may be starting small, but want to have plans to grow. And so they don't need to think about, oh, let me just do a phase one of a project and build out 5 chargers. And then when I really want to do this, I'm going to have to build out 100 chargers. That is something that they don't need to worry about. And so at our site, they can start with their, handful of trucks in the early days of testing and piloting. And then as they look to buy and expand more electric trucks in their fleet, they don't need to worry about the infrastructure. They can just expand at our site. And I think that is a significant benefit to customers, to an individual customer. And then when you start aggregating different customers in a multi-fleet model in a shared hub, now you have all of the sort of the capital investment and the costs that have gone into building out that infrastructure, that those costs can be spread out over more customers as well. And so now you can optimize and have lower costs of charging because you have more users than just all of that work being done and used for a single customer.
So at the end of the day, you are saving people big money. That's what it sounds like
Absolutely.
to me. Yeah.
Yep.
Sounds like you are helping out with, like you said, the transition, right? Because people are maybe starting smaller, dipping their toes in. And so you're really that bridge to
Yeah.
like getting more and more and more and kind of building slowly. So I like that a lot. That's fantastic, especially for folks that are kind of on the fence or nervous. It's like, oh, we can try this and use these people.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a big enough decision, not only from an operational perspective, but also from a financial perspective to invest in these trucks. And then to have to worry about building out the infrastructure, going through a permitting process, going through securing power of the utility, managing a engineering procurement construction project, buying the chargers, making sure the software works, all those sorts of things. Those things add up, and those aren't necessarily in the bailiwick of what fleet operators are accustomed to dealing with. And so that becomes new daunting challenges. And so we can make it easy for fleet to make that transition.
I think that's a great model. Okay, so moving into this San Bernardino hub that we just had this really exciting press release about. 76 ports, 9 megawatts of power, megawatt charging for next gen big rigs, and it went from groundbreaking to operational in under 1 year. So in less than a year, you were able to just get this whole thing set up, like bam. How did you pull this off so quickly? And also, you did it so beautifully. I've seen this footage. It's absolutely lovely.
Thank you. I think it's a testament to our team and to the partners that we worked with. It is not an easy feat to build infrastructure to put steel in the ground. Number one, you never know what's underground until you start digging, and you're bound to come across a number of challenges. And we certainly did, and I think that's normal in any type of infrastructure project. But I think having a team that embraces challenges and looks for solutions and is dedicated towards execution is a huge is sort of the keys to success, and our team certainly embodies all of that. And so I think our team having that approach, thinking about we have the benefit of a team on the execution side that has not only built a lot of charging infrastructure, but has also built data centers and complex utility infrastructure. And so I think we have a strong foundation in understanding the pieces that it takes to engineer, design, construct, and manage a project. And I think that disciplined approach by our team is a big reason why we're able to do that so quickly, as well as under budget. And we also had a number of strong partners, whether that be on the construction contracting side or in our hardware partners with Kemp. They were all a very collaborative group, solutions oriented to try to solve any problems. And it's really exciting to have that site online and have the ability to charge over 200 Class 8 trucks per day in San Bernardino.
Wow. It sounds like you have a ton of A players all around you.
Yeah,
Getting
it's
things done.
we have a phenomenal team. We are very fortunate to have um, such great folks on our team that I think when you think about not only any individual skill set, like the business that we are trying to build is a mix of EV infrastructure, of real estate, um, of a number of things. And we've got folks on our team that have a really diverse skill set, whether that be data science, whether that be real estate, engineers, construction, folks that have been in the EV industry, folks that have been in the trucking industry, people with strong project finance experience. It is a really diverse skill set on a small and mighty team.
I understand that completely. I'm also on a small, mighty team. So sometimes those are the best, you know.
Yeah.
Going back to these 9 megawatts and all about the grid, people don't realize you can't just plug in 50 trucks and expect the grid to handle it. So why is grid access such a bottleneck, and how does EV Realty solve it?
Yeah, I think the bottleneck comes a little bit from what I was describing earlier around the grid is not designed to be the transportation
Yeah.
fuel source. It was designed to be the built environment in which we live, and it works phenomenally. The utilities generally, the service works over 99.9% of the time. Uh, that is unlike many many industries, and so we have generally a very reliable system. But that system, again, was not conceived to think about this additional load, not only across the system, but in particular specific geographies. And that is the way the grid works. It is very much geographically driven, locationally driven. And so what we have done at EV Realty is we've built out some software and tools that analyze a bunch of data. It analyzes grid data, it analyzes truck density data, traffic patterns, and land use conditions. And where we see the interesting overlap of data across those different dimensions, we're then going out and buying the property that has access to large amounts of power that is proximate to uh, where a significant number of trucks domicile, that is proximate to where there is a lot of trucks traveling each single day. And then that has, the land has the appropriate zoning to sort of be able to build a site faster and have it be a use that is embraced by the local jurisdiction. And so we go through that process in our real estate acquisition process. And also, given sort of the background of a lot of the folks on the team, we understand a lot of the utility processes really well. And so we can manage that process to make sure we can reserve the power, work collaboratively with our utility partners, and secure the power, and then start the process of project development.
That is incredible. It sounds like the only thing I could think of while you were telling me about everything you do, it reminds me of McDonald's and how they will buy up all this real estate in maybe specific areas where they know that they can get customers. And it's almost the yes, the restaurant is important, but the land itself is what is so important, right?
That is spot on.
Yeah. Oh,
Yep.
I love it. Yes. Yeah, so that's incredible. Wow. And the apparent this technology you're using must be halfway decent because you're finding what you need and you're going in the right spots. So that's awesome.
Yeah, and San Bernardino is, just an example of that. We've got 9 megawatts of power there, and that's the site that's been built. We have a portfolio of sites across Northern California and Southern California, all of which have large amounts of power already tied and reserved to them, and those are in our project portfolio that we'll be looking to develop and advance. And we're very disciplined about our real estate acquisition approach to make sure that we have the power and that we have sort of the right spot that's close to where fleets are either domiciled or operating.
Got it all figured out. And I guess you kind of were just saying a little bit about that, but if there's any more you want to share regarding, you've got $75 million raised, San Bernardino is open, more sites in the pipeline. What are we doing next?
Yeah, we're very much focused on getting more customers at our San Bernardino site. So if there are people listening to this that is a fleet operator that operates in the Inland Empire in Southern California and is interested in electrifying or has trucks and is looking for infrastructure solutions, reach out to us, evrealtyus.com.
Mhm.
And beyond what we are looking to do at San Bernardino, we're looking to expand and build out our network within California. We have locations in Southern California. As I mentioned, in Southern California, we've got a site in Torrance that is close to the Port of LA and Port of Long Beach. This is one of the largest ports in the US, if not the largest. I believe something like 60% of the goods that come into the US come in through that port. And so there is a lot of Class 8 truck and freight activity that goes in and out of that port. And so the emissions in and around the port can be significantly reduced with that transition to battery electric trucks. And so we're looking to build out our network there. We've also have a couple sites in Northern California in Stockton and Livermore that will be additional sort of parts of the network. And so we're excited about that. And frankly, with the Tesla Semi coming out and the interest that is there, not only on its operational capabilities, but also from a price point perspective, it is getting a lot of interest amongst fleet operators. And so that gets us very excited about the opportunities, not only within California, but outside of California. And there are some interesting states that have low electricity prices and interesting real estate characteristics where with the cost of the Tesla Semi and with certain states that have low electricity prices, you're looking at locations where the total cost of operations or ownership can be very attractive compared to diesel, and you're seeing electric freight to be economic in a lot of those states, and so a lot of opportunity for growth across the U.S.
Sounds like opportunity for folks that, maybe can't play really big too. It sounds like these things are maybe more within reach for the small guys. So that,
Yeah, absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely.
Wow, how exciting. Oh, and you're also doing something impactful, right? Like you said, lowering emissions 40% in emissions in California. So that's just fantastic. Really exciting stuff. Suncheth, thank you so much for sitting down with me today. I absolutely loved learning about what EV Realty does. I know you mentioned the website earlier. Do you want to plug it one more time and just say where you can find all the information?
Yeah, thank you. If you're interested in learning more, please go to our website at www.evrealtyus.com to learn more about our San Bernardino Hub. 9 megawatts, 76 chargers, can charge over 200 Class 8 trucks each day, with more sites to come across the network.
Beautiful. Well, folks, we've reached the end of our Charge Talk episode. Thanks so much for joining us. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button to stay updated on all things EV. Thank you so much for listening and take care. Cut. And where are you located right now? Are you in California?
Yeah, I'm in San Francisco.
Perfect. Okay.
Yeah, what about you?
I'm here in Houston, Texas.
Okay.
Oh, a little more
EV
humid.
center of the EV center of the US.
Is that what they're saying?
That's what I heard. It's the word on the
I
street.
I feel like it would be the opposite. I feel like EV Center is where you are.
Uh,
But maybe one day, hey, one can dream.
it's coming. It's coming.
Yeah, let's hope. We do have a
Yeah.
lot of clients out here, so
Yeah, cheap electricity prices there
uh,
too. So
cheap everything. Everything is bigger and cheaper in Texas, all the way.
yeah.